Welcome back to The Real Story. As the Schumer shutdown fiasco in Washington leaves millions and millions of Americans grounded in partisan gridlock, Florida Republican Congressman Aaron Bean dropped a lifeline, introducing the Aviation Funding Stability Act, ensuring, rightfully, that air traffic controllers and essential personnel at the FAA actually get paid from the Airport and Airway Trust Fund, no matter how long this ridiculous, asinine, and partisan DC drama drags on for. See, it's not just about convenience, it's about safety, it's about sanity, and ultimately doing what is right for Americans. Remember that debacle way back in 2018 to 2019? That 35-day long nightmare? The longest shutdown in U.S. history? It saw over 10,000 controllers working without a single dime, culminating in sick callouts that snarled LaGuardia and forced an end to the standoff. Fast forward to what's going on right now, with the current shutdown exacerbating an already dire shortage of controllers. And we're seeing flight delays spike across major hubs like Atlanta and Chicago, where staffing is down 20% in some towers. Now that brings us back to Congressman Bean's bill, H.R. 5455. Co-sponsored by fellow Republicans like Daniel Webster and Nick LaLota, which taps into that trust fund, flush with $20 billion from aviation taxes, to keep planes flying and prevent economic nosedives estimated at least $1.4 billion per day in lost productivity. Now you might be asking yourself, why now? Well, because shutdowns are the ultimate government-owned goal, punishing hardworking patriots while politicians in Capitol Hill play chicken. So Bean, a no-nonsense freshman from the Sunshine State, has nailed it in his own recent OAN sit-down with my colleague, Dan Ball. Take a watch.
Right now, your skies are being protected by air traffic controllers and TSA agents and other essential FAA personnel that are working for free, Dan Ball. They're working for free right now. They have a patriotic duty to get the job done, but I say it's time to pay them.
Oh, and get this. There's a Senate companion bill introduced by Senator Ted Budd of North Carolina, proving that conservatives are the ones actually trying to solve your problems, not manufacturing them. So in a town where common sense often takes a back seat, Bean's move is something of a breath of fresh air and reason. No more holding our skies hostage to spending spats. And if this passes, essential FAA heroes will stay on the job. Travelers will stay on schedule, and maybe, just maybe, Congress will learn to fund the basics without the theatrics. So here with more insight is the man who penned the legislation himself, GOP Florida Congressman Aaron Bean. Congressman, thank you for being here.
Riley, it's always a treat to be on here. Thank you for framing up the stories perfectly.
I appreciate that. It's refreshing to see somebody in Washington who actually cares about the little guy, because millions and millions of Americans are suffering right now because of Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. So I just want to start by saying thank you for what you're doing. It's extremely important and it's refreshing.
Well, you're kind. And the word's getting out. We now are up to 24 co-sponsors. And for Senator Budd to pick it up in the Senate, we are gathering momentum. You nailed it when you said the pandemic has left us short already. We're already short-staffed in air traffic control towers, as well as ground control operations as well. So we don't need a shutdown right now. We don't need to have people work without getting paid. I don't know how long this is going to last, this shutdown. This is day 17 today. But long term, we need to have a plan, because as you know, and as you've outlined, flying and air travel is an essential part of commerce in these United States. We want to keep it safe. We want to keep it moving. And certainly we want to help these government employees that depend on a paycheck, Riley. So let's get this done.
I mean, absolutely. They have mortgages to pay, rents to pay, children to feed, and those children shouldn't have to suffer because the likes of Chuck Schumer have decided that party and politics is more important than the country. I think this whole shutdown, it's not working, as you just alluded to, but it's also been very eye-opening because it tells Americans what the Democratic Party really cares about. It's not them, it's not anybody's well-being, it's certainly not the little guy, it's their own political agenda. Isn't it, Congressman?
Well, just to remind everybody, we're here because Senate Democrats have failed to adopt a very clean continuing resolution that says, let's keep government funding the same. We passed that in the House 3 weeks ago. We had one Democratic member join us who realized, let's keep government open. We can have these debates. They're asking, Riley, I think they're being very unreasonable, but let's have that debate. We can still debate. They want to debate health care. They want to debate providing illegals health care, which we ended officially in the one big, beautiful bill. And so we can have that conversation, but let's open the government. Let's get things back on track, and then we'll have that debate.
Absolutely. So with the latest on your legislation, where are we currently with that process? And do you think it's ultimately going to be passed?
Well, it's going to be up to leadership whether they pick it up. Secretary Duffy, who I've communicated with his staff, and they've helped the direction of where the bill is. Okay. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get this bill done this shutdown. I'm hoping this shutdown will end in the next week or so. But certainly, we set the table that in the event that the shutdowns happen in the future, there's Secretary Duffy, in the future, then we shouldn't have to worry about, is air travel safe? Am I going to get delayed? Is my flight even going to take off? And these folks that depend on government for their paycheck, we need to make sure they're paid.
Absolutely.
You mentioned, Riley, 6 years ago, 2019, with the longest shutdown, we went over a month, and we saw a lot. We saw a lot of essential employees just call in sick, just say, I can't do it anymore. And that's what led to the shutdown ending, because air travel really was grinding to a halt. So there's hope, and hopefully we'll have the president jump back in after solving the Middle East crisis, solving that, put a check mark by, and then we'll have these debates. Let's get government open. Everything hinges on getting government open. Typically, this hasn't been a partisan issue. We've always said if it's a clean CR, let's get government open and have that debate. That's where we are, Riley. I wish I had better news.
Well, it leads me to a question. I'm sure you've been asked this quite a bit, maybe even by your own constituents, sir, but I know Republicans, they don't have anything more to negotiate. It was a clean funding bill, nonpartisan, that would keep us open at least through the end of November. Having said that, are there any talks right now with some Senate Democrats? Are you guys in communication in any way whatsoever, or is this just kind of a Cold War standoff happening in D.C.?
Well, there's leadership talks. We have had a handful of direct phone conference calls with the speaker to let us know where they are. Okay. Riley, I represent the free state of Florida. It's just hard for me to consider putting illegal healthcare for illegals, back in the budget. I don't want to go that direction. I think that's the wrong direction for our country. Many of my constituents said, Bean, stand firm. And so I think we want to be reasonable, but that's just unreasonable. This was the debate that we did in the one big beautiful bill. So if that's the cost of reopening government, I think we're going to be here a while, because I don't see me or my colleagues acquiescing to prioritizing illegal aliens' health care over Americans.
I understand
America
that.
first.
Look, this country, it's almost $38 trillion in debt. Many American citizens are already dealing with medical debt of their own, so that kind of a proposal from Democrats, it's more than a slap in the face. So I just want to echo the message of your constituents. Please hold the line. We cannot afford it. It's not fair, and there's no reason that we should make Americans suffer because of a pipe dream like that.
10-4. You sound like Braveheart, Riley. Hold the line, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
Well, this whole shutdown, it really speaks to a lot of dysfunction in Washington. I think that's the bigger picture. So I want to get your thoughts about how we get this country back on the right track. I think part of this movement to make America great again is to make Washington functional again. And that means having conversations in good faith, learning to work together and navigate our partisan differences in a way that's actually productive for Americans. So,
Riley,
what are you thinking about that?
I would agree with you. And to your point, we've got to get back to what's called regular order. Let's do away with these CRs altogether. Let's pass a budget. Originally 7 weeks, and we started 2 weeks. We started 2 weeks ago. It was supposed to be 7 weeks. Now we're in 5 weeks. But that was the amount of time that the House needed to pass all 12 appropriations bills, to pass the budget of the United States, to give it to the Senate, which there's lots of negotiation going on there. But the 7 weeks was what was going to get us back into regular order, where we could have robust debate, but make sure government is open. That's one of Congress's few jobs, is to keep government running and keep it open. So getting back to regular, see, there you go, all kinds of things. It's unpleasant to come, if you're a tourist, to come to Washington right now, because tours are closed. The White House is closed. Capitol tours, it's empty. Capitol tours. The Smithsonian either is closed or has very limited hours, all because these Democrats are just. Hopefully, Riley, we will get back on track very soon.
I certainly hope so, and I'll end by saying this. I think for every single day the government is shut down, Chuck Schumer should have to write us a check, because I'm still paying taxes, I'm still holding up my end of the bargain, but he is not, and it's shameful, sir. Truly it is.
Well, let me tell you what we did for him. We've named this shutdown after him. It is indeed the Schumer shutdown, and hopefully he will realize, if he would just play clips of himself from 6 years ago of how devastating a shutdown is, to encourage everybody to vote yes to reopen the government, and then have debate. We're just doing exactly what he said during the last shutdown. So, Schumer, welcome. Come on, brother. We're waiting on you.
Well said.
Let's go.
And thank you for your time today, sir. I appreciate it. Coming up next, will AI end up replacing teachers in our classrooms? Our resident AI wizard, Larry Ward, will join us to discuss. More details after the break.